Welcome to another episode of A Book in the Making. Today I am joined by Hank and Sharyn Yuloff. Was it correct?
Yes.
Well Amazing.
Well done.
They are the authors of no more than 7 best-selling books.
Wait a minute. Wait.
It's amazing.
Well, we have two more coming. So not no more than, please.
No, it's amazing. I'm like 7. Wow. I'm looking forward to diving into that. So the latest one is called Partners in Everything. So I'm really interested to hear about that one. And that came out in July of 21.
July 21 of 21, our 30th wedding anniversary.
Aw, that's so nice. Congratulations.
Thank you.
On the book or the marriage?
Both.
Well, both. So thank you for being here with me. I've been looking forward to our conversation. And maybe the marriage thing is a little bit also what we're going to talk about, because I would love to hear why you chose to write this book and kind of the idea behind it.
Well, you should start. Dan talked to you.
Yeah.
You should start.
We were in a mastermind group where 40 of us would gather a couple of times a year and go through things that were going on in our business and help each other, in a mastermind situation. No stealing ideas. We're all here to give and, as well as gain. So at the end of the first day of 2 days, I traded books because literally everyone in the group has written a book. Mm-hmm. I traded books with a gentleman named Dan Janelle, whose job is to help first-time authors. He holds their hand. And there are a lot of people that do that sort of thing. And Dan was in that group. And he gave us his. The next morning, he came up to me and said, in fact, it was this one. It was the Marketing Checklist 2. I gave him this one and he gave us his. And he said, your book's really good. You guys should write a book about couples that work together. And I had this 3-second, well, that's a really silly idea. Why would I want to do? Oh my gosh, it's one of our client yeah, because it took me 3 seconds to gain intelligence. One of our avatars, one of our audiences, because we work together, are people that are in business together. And at the time we had 4 other books, we had 4 books that were all, one was on business cards and 2 of them on marketing, and one was on social media. So we were starting to write books about the things we help people about.
I think I was in process on the HR book at the time.
So the
human resources
and the sales book. So those were we needed books so that when we talked to prospects about coaching, we can say, we understand that challenge you have. Here, we've written this book about it. And whether or not you choose to hire us as your coach, we hope this helps.
So when we were thinking about the Partners in Everything book, it was the one that we thought, everything else we wrote ourselves. We could write it together. We have expertise. But we figured the reader that's looking for information on how do I work with my partner, whether there's a romantic relationship or not, just having a co-owner in your business adds an extra level of complexity. We figured, they probably don't just want our opinion. That's great, Hank and Sharyn, that's the way you do it. But I wonder how Mark and Sally do it, or how Greg and Harvey do it, right? I wonder how other people do it. And so we figured, we probably should interview other people on how they do it. And even if we all had the same answer, then someone would go, oh, well, they all have the same answer for that particular issue. Then I guess that's the way you do it. But if we all had different answers, that's okay too. Well, okay, that's great that's how Hank and Sharyn do it. But Greg and Harvey do it this way. I think I'm going to go with that way, so that kind of thing.
Amazing. I think that sounds really cool. And also, even if you had the same answer, you would probably word it differently. So someone would get it with one story and someone else would get it with another story. So that totally makes sense. And I totally forgot to ask you this before the interview, which is really unprofessional, but then I'm asking you guys now, what kind of coaching is it that you do?
We are business coaches. We work with small business owners on their marketing, sales, human resources, and back office systems.
Kind of like what we did our books about.
That was what I was thinking, but it's like, it's nice to know, right?
Yeah,
For the
a lot
listener.
of
Or
most small business owners, they were trained on doing what they do, and they're really good at what they do. But when it comes to marketing, most of us weren't trained in how to market our businesses. So we're the hand holders, we're the easy button. We talk to our clients every week. There are some things that we do for clients, and some things we advise them on. And what's interesting is those things can be very different with different clients. For example, for some of our clients, I'll do some of the graphics for them. I'll design things for them. But I have a couple of clients that, like me, were trained as graphic designers. So they don't want me to do their graphics because they're just going to change them anyway. And I understand, because I'm the exact same way. So we talk more in concept. So we don't have a cookie cutter formula. It's mostly we're the backup. We're the backup singers.
Amazing. Okay, so really interesting. I think it sounds amazing. So I want to, funnily enough, dive into the book. And I am, as always, really curious about, when did you guys start your marketing process in relation to this latest book?
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
When the idea first came up.
So the idea came up in 2018 and we published in 2021. That's okay. That's a little long.
For us. We usually
I think it's a little long for most authors.
Yes. But we had other books that were scheduled. So here's the cover. Okay. It's Sharyn and I on a seesaw. I started with a concept of it. We knew we would write it. I had a mock-up of a cover
pretty quickly.
Really quickly. And we were the authors of the upcoming book of this book for literally 3 years. So we used it. You don't have to have a book published to use the book as a marketing tool. You can be the author of the upcoming book for quite a long time and use it to generate third-party validation for yourself and speaking gigs and to get on podcasts, because many podcasters want to talk about your particular book, even though it hasn't been finished or published. So
I have a question because if I book an author for this show, I would rather that their book has already been published. That makes sense for my kind of show. Absolutely. But I'm thinking, if I have a podcast that I'm thinking, okay, they have an interesting book coming out, I'm going to interview them, and then my listeners and everyone can kind of get knowledge of the book and buy it when it comes out in 3 years. Like,
yeah, you kind of have.
It depends really on. Well, lots of variables, really. It depends. We do in that mastermind that Hank mentioned, where everyone has at least one book or is writing one book. There is a gentleman there that's he has one book, but he has a series of books that are in process. So he's the author. He's been the author of the upcoming book series for a long time. I can't remember how many years, but it's been quite a long time.
We should check in and see how those are coming.
How's Mark doing? So it depends on what's your goal and what is who's the interviewer and what's their goal and what are the listeners' goals. There are lots of variables.
Yeah, you really should be. You should be in the process of it. Don't just mock up the cover. Like I did just mock up the cover for that book, but we have 4 other books at the time.
You have the experience.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So what do you do then? If then people are coming to you in this previous 3 years, 2-3 years, and saying, oh, I really want to buy that book, or when is it coming out? Is that then sending them to an email list, or how would you manage that?
Yeah, we would, in our case for this book, it would have been, we'll put you on an email list. We're not going to take pre-sales on it, because up until February, before the July publication, we didn't have a date. I happened to be on Clubhouse in a room talking about books, and my subconscious took over. And, you know, as it does, some people would call it multiple personality. I'll say my subconscious. And we were talking about upcoming books, and I said, yeah, we have a book that's coming up called Partners in Everything, you know, your couple's guide to running a successful business without ruining your life. And it's going to come out this July on our 30th wedding anniversary.
What now?
And I looked at the people in the room, and there were 3 clients in the room and all sorts of other people that knew me in the room. So when
Sharyn,
I left,
were you in the room?
no,
I was upstairs. I was getting ready for a client meeting upstairs.
So afterwards, I got to break the news to Sharyn. Hey, guess what? We have a book coming out this year on our anniversary.
How did you take that one, Sharyn? Sharyn,
I'm sorry, what now?
Yeah.
We're doing what? What? Yeah, that was kind of my reaction.
Yeah, because we had made in very little progress. We knew we were going to interview other couples. We knew that they were all going to be asked the same questions. We had most of those questions.
And we had asked a few couples, would you like to be in the book? And some of them said, yes, let me know when, or, well, I'm thinking about it, but we didn't really have anyone that was like, yeah. Is this coming? When are we doing that? Right. No one was really pressuring us to get it done. Then we kind of had to turn it on and go, okay, we're really doing this. So like, if you want to be interviewed, we need to do it like now.
Yeah, we you know, when you have a launch date, you work backwards, you know, all of the things that have to happen. All right, so if it's going to launch on our anniversary, that means it has to truly be locked and loaded in Amazon, we'll say a week to 2 weeks beforehand. I mean, you really should be ready to go. All right. That means, you know, that final edit has to be done a week or so before that, or excuse me, 2 weeks before that, because then there's the 2 weeks where our editor gets it back to us, where we go through it and negotiate any little changes, which means that I have to give our editor, I wanted to give her a good 6 week to 8 week chunk.
So now we're back in, that's June, then that's May, then that's April. And when was this again?
February. Which meant we had to, you're doing this really well. I'm getting goosebumps here. We had to find the couples, and we wanted 10. I think we ended up with 12. We had to really get promoting to find the couples that were going to be interviewed like now.
And really work with them to get us the answers back. Right. It's one thing to raise their hand and go, yeah, send me the questions. But okay, now where are your answers? Like, we can't publish a hand raise, yes, send me the questions. We kind of need the answer.
And there were probably 20 that said they wanted to be involved. And we got them the questions. And
then they went into the witness protection program, and we didn't hear from them.
Yeah. and
the questions are not that scary, really. No. Honestly, they're just not.
So it came down to, how bad do you want to be promoted in a book that we know is going to be a bestseller? Because we've figured out that part of the process. And you can't want it for them more than you want it for, they want it for themselves. And we have found that with our coaching clients too. we can do a whole lot for them. We can write blogs for them. We can, show them how to do social media. But if they don't want it bad enough for themselves, then all the great coaching in the world doesn't help.
No, doesn't matter at all. So how many couples ended up being in the book?
We've got 10.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah, we got the number we wanted. Actually, no, there's 12. And there was actually one more. When we got their answers and we went through it with our editor, there was one couple where the content wasn't going to work.
Okay, but that makes sense, and that's also a choice. When I did my book, I spent 12 months doing what you guys did in 5-6 months.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And one of
but there's two of us.
Well, yeah. So nice on me or something. I don't know. But I did pre-interviews, kind of like I'm doing with these interviews. I do pre-interviews to make sure that it makes sense, because like you're saying, I had someone, and I did my interviews in person. So I met up with people, or did it via Zoom, and then I transcribed and
that's a lot of work.
Yes, that is a lot of work.
So let me ask you a question, Miss Interviewer.
Sure.
If you had to do it over again, would you do it exactly the same way, or would you let them write their answers?
I would do it exactly the same way.
Then that's wonderful.
Because then I get my writing style. It gets to be coherent in what I did is I did the interviews. Well, I did the pre-interviews, and then I sorted out for people who were like, okay, that's not for me, and that's fine. And then I actually had someone who was just flat out lying. First, her boyfriend was dead, then he just left her, and there's like, okay, I'm not gonna have you in my book. So that's why I did the pre-interviews, right? So then I did the interviews, which was between an hour and 3 hours long.
Wow.
Then I transcribed them word for word, had people read through them. Then I rewrote them into the interview style for the book, had people read through them again, and then edit it out for the last. And then, of course, all of the other process of editing and spell checking and everything on the end of that. But that was my process. And that's the second time. Yeah, it's the second time I've done that. I've done that for my master thesis as well. And I swore when I did it for my master thesis, I was never going to do it again. But the reason I did it this way is to get some like a coherence between the way that it's set up, and be sure that, I don't know if you guys ran into this issue, but that the writing style and that people are answering in like yes and no's or stuff, that it gets to be way too different, and someone just answering like really short. And the other part of it was that this is about people having really sick family members, and even someone losing her 16-year-old child to illness. So it's something where you want people to feel safe. So there's multiple reasons. So back to you guys.
Well, but
interesting.
So let's compare. Your topic is deeper. Ours is it's business, and people are talking about their business. As for the different writing styles, we wanted their personalities to be able to come through. So rewriting their stuff,
because we're highlighting their business, right? It's a lead generation for business for them. So
that makes so much sense.
It is a business tool. And did you self-edit, or did you had one official editor or a team of people that you had read through it?
I read through it myself.
Right.
Then I had my beta readers who were also letting me know if there was anything in it. And then I had someone proofread. Okay.
So you had all of that. We had Terry.
Terry has edited all of our books.
Yeah. She's our good luck charm.
Amazing.
She's trying to retire from editing, and
she likes to play with her grandkids. Go figure.
Yeah, we're like, I think she has 2 authors she said she's willing to still work with, because she likes our style, and we force her to send us a bill. Um, so
Okay, so the 2 authors, is that you 2, or do you count as one?
For Terry, is it just us, or is it us and somebody else?
Oh, it's somebody else.
Oh, okay.
The way that it works, though, I'll share this. When I opened my big mouth and decided that we were going to have it published, I hadn't checked with her to see if she was available, and I had to send her an email, and she missed the first email, so I was getting a little tense. And a week later, I sent her another one, and the response came back. She was really excited. So the weight.
It was visible that the weight that was lifted off his shoulder, it was visible when he read that email.
Yeah.
I could imagine.
So having for all of you authors or potential authors, having an incredible editor, and
not just one that will proofread it, but one of the nice things, whatever. One of the benefits of having Terry, important things, is that not only does she proofread, but she formats for Amazon. So if you're looking to have an e-version on Amazon, having someone that already knows how to format it for that system is quite the benefit.
You can't promote Terry anymore because she's not taking a new client.
No. So
we have other editors.
Latest,
it isn't like we don't have others. She's just our good luck.
Our latest conversation is she's deciding.
She's debating
if she wants us to get her more business. So I said, okay, how about this one person? I connect her with one person, and at that person, she was like, nah, it's not the right person. So she's picking and choosing. But I'll tell you, she is so good that she has called, she's called me on their laziness at some parts, like, did you really mean to write it this way, or this isn't coming through, or this is,
Did you really mean to end there? Wasn't there more to that that you needed to say?
So she knows your writing style.
She does.
Yeah, and that's amazing with working with someone who is getting to know you through multiple books. And I just want to get us back on the marketing
part. Okay. So the question you asked was, how far ahead of the book coming out did we start marketing?
Let me rephrase the question a little bit then.
Okay.
That was the question.
That was the question. You're totally right. I want to rephrase that a little bit because that answer was amazing. But
12 minutes late.
What did you do from deciding to setting the deadline, deciding to actually write the book, until you launched, or till you started your launch, kind of like a couple of weeks before launch? What did you do in the process when you were writing, and maybe a little bit before that February day, but kind of up to the last year or something?
Actually, until that day in February, the only marketing was a mock-up cover that we used with the mock-up cover of our next book. That's called The Physics of Marketing. Mm-hmm. And those 2 mock-up covers appeared on a slide that we use in webinars talking about us. That's it. That was it.
Okay.
Until then.
So until February. Now, once the gun went off and the race is being run, there are several tracks. There's of course the finding of couples. There's the refining of the questions. There's our writing our answers to our own questions.
Yeah.
That was a lot. And then you start to look at marketing. So the first step for us is always, okay, let's start to play with what the cover is going to look like.
Okay.
Now, if you look at all of our other books, the main thing you'll see is, oh, look.
You guys are on the cover.
It's a picture of...
It's a photograph.
It's a photograph of us. But this book has other couples in it. So the idea of our picture on the cover didn't work. So we needed a graphic representation. And the representation that I had found, a couple on a seesaw, I really loved that. So
because working together is a balancing act, right? Especially if you're in a romantic relationship as well, there's the balance of work and personal, and how does that even out? Or does it? Maybe it doesn't even out.
So we decided in this case, our picture goes, on the back instead. And we were going to,
with the other couples
that wrote the main, there were 2 other couples that wrote a lot compared to 8 of the couples that barely wrote. So it's split up. And so to the marketing part of it starts where we want to start promoting the book is going to come out. So we need to do a cover. And one of the ways that we do it, Sharon's checking on one of our cats who's doing something over there behind our camera. One of the ways that we promote is we had 3 different graphic artists come up with ideas. We paid 3 graphic artists actually it was 4, but one of them was horrific. So
oh my God.
we paid for 4, ended up with 3, 2 that we really liked. And so we took the 2 we really liked, and on social media, we put a meme together. Our new book is going to come out July 21. Which of these 2, pictures do you like? Which of these 2 covers, and we use different typefaces, do you like? So we start to generate interest that way, just something really simple. And what was fun was we did care how the vote came out, but we have our own, we have a target audience. So if 100 people, and we'll use that we'll round it down to 100. It was a lot of people answered. If 100 people answered, we'd look at the percentage of people that are our target audience and how did they vote. If 50 of them are business owners, all right, let's look at those 50. And the numbers were very different. There were some that said, well, the retired teacher. Well, I like that, but I think you should make your shirts in that drawing blue. And you should, it's like, you know what? You're not our target audience. So thank you so much. But
not that we actually had that conversation, but we had it, in our
to each other.
Yeah.
So we have that. And it did help us decide a little bit. And then we have, so we start running some teasers. We started offering, who wants to read, do you want to read the prologue to our new book? Who'd like to, this is what it's about. Because the prologue was written at 2:30 in the morning in February. And yeah.
And did you guys have the couples that were in the book also promote before the book came out?
We did, but that comes a little later. Once we've locked the cover, about a month out, we said, all right, here are 3 or 4 different memes that you can use in social media. For example, I took Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy, said, here's a couple that's famous for, being partners in everything. We're being interviewed in a book called Partners in Everything. Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers, just
famous
couples. So there are a lot of teaser type things. And if anyone wants to see him, send us an email. I'll show you what the artwork looked like. Or go deep into my Facebook page. Scroll deep. Go into the Yuloff Creative Facebook page back to photos, July, and you'll see them. They're all and there.
We'll link to that in the description of the video. So if you want to dive in, then there's going to be a link.
Yeah, there's a ton of them.
Yeah.
Because when to fast forward, our social media is not about selling our stuff. What
we teach and what we do, because they are congruent, is on your business page, whether it doesn't matter which social media channel it is, the answer is still the same. 80% of what you post is business related, right? I wrote this blog, I have this upcoming book, whatever it is, it's business related. And 2 out of 10, so 20% is personal, right? Not drama or politics or religion, but I took a break at lunch and I went on this really nice walk and I took this picture of this beautiful flower that caught my attention, right? Something that shows your personality. Why would we want to work with Diana instead of Jane Doe next door that claims to do the same thing, right? So a little bit of personality. Yeah. When it comes to book time, that 80-20 rule kind of goes out the window.
Yeah, it becomes all book all the time. Now, understand, we're not trying to get rich on our book. We launch our book for $1.
Okay.
The e-version.
And if you buy the book and send us proof, you get a package of different stuff. A training video, a special report. I mean, we had a huge package of stuff. And I think the website is still up, but depending on when you're watching this, it could be promoting a different book.
But and that you do that so what you're saying is that if people buy the book on Amazon, they will send you guys a receipt, and then you will, and then you will send them, you'll get their email for your list, and then you'll send them and the reason to do this, just to clarify and see if I got it right.
It's what's known as an ethical bribe. Hey, everyone.
And the reason I'm asking is because the important thing here is that when people buy your book via Amazon or Barnes and Nobles or whatever, you don't get their information.
Correct.
You don't get them on your email list. And that's what we want as authors. We want people on our email lists, because then we don't own them, but we own the list, and we're able to market the next book or the next whatever to them. Correct. So that's a really smart way to do it.
And the thing is, it's really a great package of stuff. I mean, it's really cool stuff.
It's
a win-win.
Yes, it is a win-win. And not everyone does it, right? Some people will just buy the book and they don't send us the receipt and they don't get the package of stuff. But they didn't do it for the package of stuff, right? When my mom bought the book, she didn't buy the book because she wanted the package of stuff. She just did it because she was supporting us to get to bestseller, right? So you don't get the receipt from everybody, but those that do, that they're really invested in what you're offering and that book and what the topic is of that book.
So it's the right
the goal,
people.
And the goal is to hit bestseller. And
so what did you do around that? What did you specifically do other than this to hit bestseller?
So let me preface, if any of our friends and fans are watching, thank you. We have a really cool email list. I honestly believe that if we just sent out emails to our list, we could hit bestseller. I'm almost certain.
Can I ask how large your list is? It's fair if you don't want to answer.
It's a decent size. It's several thousand.
Yeah.
Okay.
But here's the thing. The purpose of your book, everybody, and he said as he holds up his book so the watchers can watch, the purpose of your book is not to get rich, unless your name is, J.K. Rowling, Stephen King. I mean, come on. We're not getting rich on our books. So our book, the purpose is to use it to support your business. When we meet somebody that's in business together, we were just at a Chamber of Commerce event. We met someone, she and her husband had just bought a business. Guess what book we gave her? Congratulate, is this your first time in business yet? We gave her the book. I mean, that's what it's there for. It's not just, we're in business together. Here's our business card. We should talk. No, we gave her a book. So with that in mind, we want to promote that we have the book. We want to promote our business. So the things that we do to promote, we're all over social media. every time we open our mouths to speak before the book comes out, it becomes part of our elevator speech, whether it's at a networking meeting or on our own podcast, theviewcast.com, or every time we're talking to somebody, it could be a prospect, or it could be someone that comes calls us for we do a success call, a free success call for people. If they're on that, we let them know, hey, we have a book coming out. It becomes part of it because we are marketing our business by using the book. We send out, we have a flyer that we've done several times during our boot camps, where we will tell people, we'll talk about using books to market yourself. And in our March boot camp, so March before July, we gave out a card that was a promotional card for our book, and said, you know what, for those 30 of you that are here, we're going to bribe you. We're going to give you the $1. So not only do you get the book for free, you make a penny, and you get the package of stuff. So we are using it in a whole lot of different ways. Let's think. What other ways did we do this? Oh, we sent a direct mail we do a direct mail postcard to about 1,000 people on our mailing list every month.
Oh, like we send a physical postcard.
A physical postcard.
Yeah.
We send out a marketing tip on one side. 5 ways to be found on social media. How to make your profile photo better. Just little tips.
So here we are located in the United States. So here in the States, even though our postage just went up last week, it's still significantly cheaper than most European countries.
Yeah. It costs me the same thing to email a postcard from Hawaii to Denmark as it does sending a postcard from Denmark to Denmark. So wow. International is the same price from the US as national postage is in Denmark. It's insanely cheap for you guys.
Yes. So that's why we do that. If we lived in Denmark, maybe we would not do that. But
and we use a service where we get unlimited free postcards if we just pay the postage. It's part of the direct mail package. So
when you collect, is this your clients or is this your email list where you also get their mailing addresses?
Yeah.
Or how does that work?
This list.
It is clients, but it's also
but it's all prospect or people that we know through our chambers of commerce. It's a really varied list.
Okay. It's not hard to get their address because we don't just send out these postcards. That's what we're talking about now because we're talking about marketing the book, but that's not the only thing we send out. So if we're card senders, we send birthday cards. Sometimes the birthday cards that we send to a prospect, we're the only birthday card they get that isn't family. So it's not hard to get their address. We just say, we're card senders. And if you like to receive greeting cards, we'd like to send you a nice to meet you card. We just met. It'd be nice to send you a nice to meet you card. If so, share your address. And usually it's on their business card, but not always.
I want to interject here. If you're in Europe, make sure that I'm not sure if this is GDPR compliant.
Yeah.
So make sure to check if you're based in Europe or if you're based in the US and want to send things to potential clients in Europe, because there are very strict laws on how you're allowed to contact potential clients.
So I have a question for you.
Yes. I'll see if I can answer.
Well, if we say we'd like to send you a nice to meet you card, can we have your mailing address? And they give us their mailing address.
Fine.
Isn't
that's fine.
I didn't do research to find their mailing address. I just asked them.
Okay, then it's totally fine. It's just, for example, to give an example, people who are friending you on Facebook, and then 2 seconds later, you're getting an invite to like their page or join their group. that's illegal.
Yeah.
It's not only bad taste,
It's bad
you're
taste.
not allowed to.
Yeah, it's like when I get
According to
a
law.
Facebook message. In fact, let's see.
He just did this yesterday.
Just yesterday,
Oh.
I got a Facebook message. And while this is opening, I'll finish the thought on the postcard. The postcard has a marketing tip on one side, and then on the other side, there's always a, hey, we're doing a webinar on this date, or would you like a free ticket?
Or the book.
Or the
right?
book. So we said, hey, we have a book coming out for 99 cents, and you get a package of stuff. So we're offering, again, the ethical bribe, but we're still giving content. So the direct mail part is there. Doggone it. I need to get to them. It'll come to me when I finally get to the messages.
Sounds like you have a slow phone.
So here's the message I got. Now, this person and I have been friends on Facebook for a while. She never comments on my stuff, has never sent me a message before. I'm part of a financial company that has seen a lot of growth this past year. We're looking for people to work in remote roles. Are you open to another stream of income, or do you know of anyone who might be? So my answer was, thank you for the message. Are you open to know ways to make your social media messenger prospecting more effective? Or would anyone in your downline? Her answer, we're good, thanks. My answer, us too. And thank you for inspiring me to add content for my social media webinars in the Don't Let This Happen to You section. So I took a screenshot of her message. It is now going into our social media
Now, if
webinars.
she was really a friend, she would know, right? We are business coaches. We're not going to switch to financial services. And you know what? We're not going to recommend people we know sign up for her financial service just from a Facebook Messenger, right? That's just not.
Sounds a little bit like it's MLM.
It does.
Oh, it completely is.
So
and some insurance companies here in the States feel that way. They're not really set up that way, but their marketing message feels that way.
Okay.
And I get those messages all the time.
And that's the thing, that's illegal here.
Right.
Here, it's just really, really bad.
No, it's spam. That's what it is. Right.
Or I'm interested in learning more about what you do. We may find synergy and collaboration. Check out this video and let me know your thoughts. You know what? No.
But it actually could leads me into a question, because we are running out of time real fast here.
Oh no, let's not do that.
So actually, how do you, because promotion and marketing are hard disciplines for a lot of people. How do you actually promote your book to people who are not already in your network?
Mostly it's
social media and getting on podcasts. I mean, we do then get an audience that we may not have had access to otherwise. We just need to make sure that when we are connecting with those podcasters, that the things that we want to talk about are things that interest their audience. Because if it's not, then it's not the right podcast. It's not a good match. Yeah. So that is one way. Speaking on other stages, there are lots of ways to network to get access to an audience that's not already part of your tribe.
And how would you do that if you had no audience?
We'd start from scratch. And we had to do, you start. Now, wait, when you say no audience, does that mean I'm a brand new business owner? I'm not on social media. I mean, like brand new.
Let's do it in this example. So I have a business, and let's say I'm a coach or a consultant, which is hopefully the people who are watching this. They've just decided to write a book. So they have some kind of audience, but they don't have any audience that's maybe they just have clients. They don't have an audience per se, because that haven't been their focus. So how do they create that audience in a way that, how would you guys create that audience for marketing that new book?
Well, their clients are their audience, and their clients have people in their tribe. So we often say, even if you're looking for a referral, not necessarily for a book, but just for your business, you already have an audience. Just ask, even if it's just family, even if you're brand new and you're just starting, you have an audience. It may only be your family and friends, but you have not. Who do you know? Who do you know that might be interested in this book? Who do you know that might be interested in my coaching or consultation? Who do you know?
And you start with let's start with the end in mind. What is the purpose of it? I may not have an audience, but before that, you have to decide, well, why do you need an audience?
Good point.
Yeah. So, because that's going to determine what kind of audience I'm looking for. If I had zero audience, I could go on Clubhouse and look in rooms where my target audience is hanging out and become part of the conversation without being too salesy.
Yeah.
I'd like to answer that.
Balance.
Yeah, I'd like to answer the question, but can I promote my book first? No.
Don't do that.
Look, marketing done right does not necessarily equate to marketing done fast. There are a lot of brands that it took them a tremendous amount of time to build up their audience, and one slip up or can cause catastrophic failure. In the United States, Chipotle, they had a sales supply challenge in their lettuce, and it cost them half their business.
But they've come back. So I also don't want your audience to hear, the lesson is not, if you make a mistake, you're done. That is not the lesson to take away from that story.
To try and avoid mistakes.
Yes, you want to try and avoid mistakes, but even if you have them, most of them are not catastrophic. Most of the time, think of it, picture a tennis ball, right? A tennis ball drops. The farther it drops, the bigger the bounce back, but you have to be willing to do the bounce back. If you just go, well, I failed, I faltered, I'm done. Okay, then you're done. But as long as you're willing to keep at it and bounce back, the lesson to take away is not, if you make a mistake, you're done. That's not the right lesson.
Exxon is still in business. BP is still in business. Some companies just change their name.
Yeah.
Philip Morris. But
okay, so let me ask you this last question.
Sure.
Going from here, so you've got the bestseller. It's been out for almost 2 months. What is the next thing that you're focusing on marketing wise for this book?
That's a great question.
Thank you.
So understand that, okay, look, we've got 7 of them, and this is the only one that is relationship based. The others are marketing checklist for sales, marketing check, they're human resources. They're very business focused. This one is more relationship based. This one, you get more of us than, So we're going to use it to market us. We're going to target podcasts that we normally would not go on. We normally don't go on the relationship, podcasts. Yes, we're a couple in business together, but we're not marriage counselors. We end up talking to people about the relationship a little, but
how can you not?
Yeah, right? This gives us another avenue. So one of the things we're going to look for are relationship podcasts and that whole realm of business. Facebook, social media groups, Alignable has a lot of groups for businesses or people are in business together. So we're going to use the book to leverage getting to know having a different type of audience know us.
I think that's a really great point to kind of think on, even if you're only have one book, new author, think, is there somewhere that this book could be valuable for a different audience as well? So when you have your base covered with the marketing to your core or your core base, then what can I do next? Is there someone else? So guys, if people want to find you, find your books, hear more about all the other books as well, where would they want to go?
That there's actually two different questions. If you want to learn more about our books, you go to our website, yuloffcreative.com, and there's a section on the books. If you have questions, and the questions that people always come to us with, what do I do next, and do I get there faster? If you want that answer, get us for a half hour for free. Go to howtogettherefaster.com.
Amazing email at our website.
It'll ask you a couple of questions, and then it'll put you on our calendar. So it's howtogettherefaster.com.
Cool. Thank you so much for being here. It's been a really interesting conversation.
Thanks
I really
for having
appreciate
us.
It's been fun.
So you had to stay up later to interview us, and we had to get up early to be on your show, and it's been wonderful for us. I hope it was wonderful for you.
It definitely was. So thank you so much.
Thank you.